Most people have problems with two things in life, money and happiness. Well, I've got the book for you. The Almanack of Naval Ravikant. So don't let the funny name deter you. It's actually one of the most valuable books I've ever read. An almanac is pretty much a handbook or a body of text that was published, and Naval Ravikant is an extremely wealthy, wise man who conveniently shares his wisdom regularly on Twitter. The author Eric Jorgensen found Naval's wisdom so great and meaningful that he decided to write an entire book based on his Twitter posts alone. I'm going to explore some of the key points Naval makes and why I think this book should be read by every single person before they leave high school. Before we could talk about money or happiness, we need to talk about Naval Ravikant. What makes him so qualified to teach us about how to make money? And what could a man so wealthy possibly teach us about being happy? Well, Naval was born in India in a very poor family, working full-time just to keep a roof over their heads. They soon moved over to America and again lived in poverty. Naval worked any job he could get, saying he would often work for illegal immigrants earning below minimum wage. Now this all sounds quite sad, but it never got Naval down. In his off time, he would spend hours reading anything he could get his hands on and absorbing everything he read. Naval was extremely curious about everything and had an innate desire for knowledge. He developed an interest in sci-fi, philosophy, and self-education, which eventually led him to start his first company. Eventually, he launched his first company, which was called Opinions, which did quite well financially, but caused a lot of headaches for Naval legally. Now, with quite a bit of money and experience under his belt, he started a new company called AngelList, which a lot of people should know. It was by far his most successful company yet, making him tens of millions of dollars. Now, he's rich, he's successful. What does he do? Well, like any wealthy and experienced individual, he hops on Twitter and starts to post. And post. And post. And just keeps posting. Lots of posts. Now, this is where we get to everybody's favorite topic. Money. Now that we know his journey a little better, and more importantly, that he is absolutely rolling in money, we can have a little more respect and appreciation when Naval released one of his most viral tweet threads ever. How to make money easily without luck. This single tweet thread literally takes up half the book, so it must be pretty important. It consists of sentence after sentence, and each one is an absolute banger, like legit game-changing quotes, one after the other. It just scrolls and scrolls. If having tons of wisdom were a crime, well, let's just say Naval would be in the hole for a very, very long time. Now you're probably asking, what was in the tweet thread that was so powerful? Well, the biggest takeaways were specific knowledge, leverage, and having fun. Naval first talks about building something called specific knowledge, something that is very difficult to obtain, but is highly sought after in the market. A good example would be public speaking. It's something everyone needs to do at least once in their lives, but only a handful of people can truly master the elements of public speaking. According to Naval, specific knowledge can't actually be taught in schools, but it has to be learned through apprenticeships and experience. Next is leverage. Naval explains there are three forms of leverage: labor, capital, and the internet. Labor is simply paying people to work for you, which requires a lot of money for not a lot of gain. Capital is investing money into companies or people to build stuff for you. Again, not a lot of leverage is created, but it has more potential than labor. Finally, we get to what Naval calls the internet leverage. This form has the potential to create infinite leverage, as we now live in a digital age where someone can create a piece of software or a tutorial video and get millions of people to pay for it. Okay, small input, huge output. That's the goal. And the internet, according to Naval, is the best place to achieve that. Finally, having fun. Okay, Naval started half a dozen companies and spends his free time investing in other people's companies because he finds it fun. That's it. The money's nice, but the amount of fun he's having is nicer. He's a strong believer in doing something you enjoy and really honing in on that thing. You are the only you in the world, and there are people who need someone exactly like you, okay? So find out what it is, and you'll be infinitely wealthy. Now, the other important part of the book is happiness, something that appears to be less sought after, but is actually the reason most people do what they do. People wake up early to work and get paid, not just to go to work again and get paid again, but to experience things, enjoy life, spend time with friends and loved ones. Everything you buy or spend your money on is for an emotion, which most of the time is happiness. So what does Neville say about happiness? How can we all achieve it? Well, it's actually pretty simple. All we need to do is understand the skill of happiness, learn how to achieve it, and explore everyone's favorite topic, philosophy. Neville makes it very clear that happiness is not something that just happens, okay? It's a skill that people develop over their lives. That's why some people who are very happy with very little money, and then there are some people who are very unhappy with a lot of money. We need to actually dedicate some time to learning how to be happy and make some tweaks to our mental system on how we view certain things. To keep this video from being 30 minutes long, I'm just going to share a few of the best quotes, and we're going to move on. Desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. The three big ones in life are wealth, health, and happiness. We pursue them in that order, but their importance is reversed. A happy person isn't someone who's happy all the time. It's someone who effortlessly interprets events in such a way that they don't lose their innate peace. The enemy of peace of mind is expectations drilled into you by society and other people. God, what a bunch of bangers. I already feel happier. Now that we understand happiness, how can we achieve it? Well, Neville is a big advocate for exercise, nutrition, and meditation. As these topics are pretty huge, I'm just going to mention some small things Neville does for each, okay? So Neville, firstly, he prioritizes his physical health over anything. So he starts his morning with a workout. It makes him feel younger, healthier, and fuels him for the rest of the day. And Neville stays away from processed foods and tries to eat as close to a paleo diet as he can. So natural foods, fruit, vegetables, meat. Simple. Finally, meditation. Our minds are all over the place most of the time. So try to find some stillness in your day and be present in the moment. Neville spends an hour a day meditating, usually first thing in the morning. Now, meditation is more than just sitting still and thinking of nothing. It could also be going for a walk and being present. Pretty much doing anything while being present is meditating, okay? Finally, philosophy. Nothing gets me going more than a little bit of philosophy. Neville believes in something called rational Buddhism, which he explains is the belief in everything surrounding Buddhism that is falsifiable. The belief that meditation is good for the mind is true, as Neville has tested it for himself, but something like karma affecting you in the next life is something Neville can't test, so he simply doesn't believe it. Lastly, Neville strongly believes in honesty, saying it is one of his greatest values to be true to oneself and to others. Well, that is everything you need to know about this fantastic book, okay? Like always, I'll leave a link for the book in the description below if you'd like to read it. Obviously, I'd highly recommend reading the whole book. I've just, skimmed through the biggest points. And if you want more videos like this, just make sure to like and subscribe, okay? Take care.